I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip.
And Salty. Sody.
Saltu. We're not sure what to name him.
Shout out to the big homie Skeletor. My man Skeletor is sitting on his throne. My man said, I am at peace with myself.
I can add that in right here. This is the meme. This is his favorite meme.
This is my guy. Skeletor, like, is my guy. I always loved Skeletor. I was always going for the bad guys in the 80s.
Well, I wonder why.
I was the bad one in my family. So I was like related to the bad guy. I always felt like they were misunderstood.
Yeah.
I was always like, He-Man is always so muscular and shit, you know? Like, everybody likes him. He's handsome. He's got the flowing hair. Poor Skeletor, he's only a skeleton. You'd be mad, too. I never really knew what Skeletor did wrong.
Do you know? No?
No, I still don't know. My man said I'm at peace with myself. We gotta watch Anyway, where in the world is a village? We're in Australia, mates.
Yep. At a concert. Look at this picture.
So that's
him and his son.
That's Bafal.
Well, this is Dan.
This is Dan.
And his son. I don't know what his son's name is.
Probably didn't want that released.
We'll call him Junior.
Junior. We'll call him Skeletor.
They went to a concert. So I got to go to a concert.
This front and back.
Yep.
Maybe you're sick because of your secrets.
Yep.
Check us out at the website, vinandsori.com.
Yep.
That'll get you what? The shirt?
Yeah. And then there's, it's slowly being added to the site. Is being worked on a little bit right now, but keep checking back because you can also make one request per day as far as what you want for song requests. And then the most requested songs on there is, goes on our list. So like we're phasing out of taking requests on Facebook or YouTube. It's all going to be coming from the website. And so you can go in there and you can put one request per day. So hop on there every day and put in a request if you want.
Well, there are different ways to channel your requests so that they get priority. So like if the least effective way to do it is on Twitter or emailing us or Instagram or any of those other the best way, the bulk way is to go to the website and do it. And then of course if you want it pushed up, then it's on Patreon. You start in $1, get in an alliance, and you're guaranteed that there's a big shot. There's a bigger shot because now we're gonna have two Patreon picks. So anyway, we're just giving you guys some hacks so that you can get your songs if you have a song request. I'm not saying that if you email us or Twitter us that we will completely ignore it. What I'm saying is that when I wake up in the morning, there's about 2 or 3 sites that I check at, and so vinandsori.com is the main thing.
Yep.
All right. AC/DC live. This song is called Back in Black.
Go.
Go! man. They sell out like thousands and thousands and thousands. I can't even say my words. What's that? What are you thinking about? Is it the bum? His bum?
No, when I was setting up the video, I was like, what the fuck? And then like I like moved the cursor over it.
Oh, when
and
you set up the video, you saw his bum.
Yes! I was like, what in the world? And then I was like, did you just see that? And you were like, no, what? I was like, yes! Because I wanted to see your reaction when he moved the camera.
What is going on?
So you better know in the editing process, I'm gonna go back and see your reaction. But this...
Here you are spending $50, $60 on a ticket so that you could see this guy's hairy bum. Alright.
First of all, didn't I really like the last AC/DC song?
You like the last two?
Yeah, this one, no. And that guy on the guitar, he reminded me way too much of our Naughty Kid. Just all over the place, on 10. It was just too much for me.
Okay.
It was too much.
Well, speaking of hats, two things. A, how come you did the live video? Well, 1A, AC/DC blocks everything we do. We did a live video one time, and even that got blocked, didn't it? Didn't the last AC/DC video we did get blocked?
Yeah, everything's just getting blocked, blocked, blocked.
B, AC/DC is like a very fan-friendly, crowd is enjoying themselves and all that, so that was cool. Also, somebody told me, like, you need to do this song because this is what the song was about. So they told me what Back in Black was about.
What the heck is it about?
And then that usually pushes the song to the bottom of the list because we've got a standard policy of not researching songs. But everybody was saying do Back in Black, so there we are.
Well,
but
everybody's going to be disappointed.
Apparently this guy, so the singer, remember, I don't know if you were looking at the comments because people were like pissed off that we had the wrong singer doing the previous song.
I mean,
because we didn't know anything about the things. It's the wrong guy. It's the wrong guy. So apparently, this guy who was singing replaced somebody who died. So the original singer for the band died. So he went off to the Ein Sof. So then it was his job to go in there and write a song about, the guy that went out before him or whatever.
So he's saying he's back in black.
So
I'm back in black.
I think he's personifying the guy that died. I don't know what his name was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's a very moving story.
Well, it's interesting because it's not a very, it's not a rest in peace story. Like, he's being personified as, like in the Westerns, like the bad guy's always in the black hat.
Yeah.
The bad guy's in the black hat and the good guy's in the white hat. John Wayne, John Wayne's in the white hat. Remember that Western that we saw? It was like Purgatory?
Purgatory.
All those guys, what's his face? Eric Roberts was in the black hat with his gang of
No, I never
crooks.
I never really realized that. I thought that the sheriff had a black hat. No, I don't know. Anyway,
so it looks to me like he is like personifying himself as like an old Western guy who, like, I'm not really dead, I'm still living on type of, I'm still a badass, it wasn't, it's one of those like don't cry about it type songs. Like, it's a celebration of who the guy is. It looks like he's, I'm let loose from the noose.
Okay,
That's kept me hanging about. So it's like,
that's why they were running around on 10 like that.
So, that's how they're processing their grief.
No, like he's saying, I'm back, I'm on, like I'm loose from the noose. I'm like,
yeah, but he's again, I think he's personifying the person that died.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you mean they're running around on 10 like that?
All the people, like that guy on the guitar and stuff like that, like everybody was playing like he's, they say I'm back and I'm better than ever and stuff like that. Like, well, yeah. So he's personifying that the guy is like he came back and he's.
Well, it seems to me that that's just their way of processing their grief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're processing their grief that way. I don't think that it's But it is interesting though because like Metallica. Cliff Burton died, and they didn't really make a song directly about him. Like, To Live Is to Die is probably the closest you could get from the Justice record.
Yeah.
Which was an instrumental that we listened to. So that was there. Mm-hmm. But it's just really interesting how people process grief differently. Like, forget the hearse because I'll never die.
Yeah.
I got 9 lives, cat's eyes, abusing every one of them and running wild. So it's like, they're choosing to look at him like, he didn't really die. It's sort of like this denial of the fact type thing. That's what they're telling themselves. They know that he died, but they're saying this is the last word we want to hear from him. Is that, you know, I guess it became a super popular song, so they kept, you know, singing it over and over again. Somebody that, see, I wouldn't make a song like that.
You wouldn't?
No, if somebody died. I'd make one song and be very real and honest, and I'd probably never sing it again. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot imagine like singing that song over and over and over again. Good Lord.
Well, I can see if, you know, if he was a loved character and, you know, he died and singing this, like, I'm back, like, because there's that, you, like, want the person to be back, you know? So, like you said, as a way of dealing with the grief and stuff like that. I just, and I think that it's a very, you know, that's cool, and I think it's cool that they're doing, I just didn't like it.
Why?
It was just too much.
Well, it was very mega
very repetitive. Over and over and over. And then the boy, I don't know, I'm sorry guys, I didn't like this one.
Well, what's interesting is I like the first half of the song. I like the old Western theme.
I think I was kind of
I'm in a bang with a gang, they gotta catch me if they want me to hang.
Then
I like that.
Too much.
Because I'm back on the track and I'm beating the flag. Nobody's gonna get me on another rap. Like, it's, I like this part of it. The first two verses, I really like it. I like the old West type, like, hey, you know, my stepdad used to watch Westerns all the time.
So did my meme. It's like a grandmother.
And I always thought to myself, when I get older, I'm going to understand why Westerns are fun. But I never did. Why were you watching Westerns all the time? I never liked them. He'd just sit in his chair and watch his Westerns. Sometimes he'd fall asleep. So I'd like try to like get the remote and change it to Monday Night Football or whatever. And then his eye would pop open. Hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I would watch a Western way before watching.
I never understood why Westerns were particularly fun, but at the same time, it's like it isn't like if one of your, because AC/DC does have that type of like attitude, like, yeah, we're badass and we're outlaws, but they're not like mean outlaws. You know how like there's some people that have like an outlaw persona, but it's like dangerous and they'll kill you or something. These guys are just like, we're outlaws, but it's not malicious outlaw. It's just, they'll rob the bank, but like everybody will have fun at the bank while it's being robbed. It's like that. So like, no, like, isn't that like what you get, like, like Slayer? It's like they rob the bank, you're putting some blood on the ground. But these guys, if they rob the bank,
country about it. That's what I'm confused about. Like, I
mean country. I didn't say country.
Cowboyish. Cowboys are in the country, babe.
What are you talking about?
What Texas are you talking
Texas
about?
is the country?
I would consider Texas in the country-ish.
You're ridiculous.
Well,
anyway, my point
I didn't get that out of this at all.
I'm in a bang with a gang. They gotta catch me if they want me to hang. Nobody's gonna get me on another rap. Like it's.
Yeah.
The sheriff has to catch you. He's like, I'm out of here. So it's like his death was like almost a means of escape type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they could never get him type of thing. Instead of just like, we lost our brother, I think, so I think that's the reason that they're all jumping, all being crazy and shit. It's because it's like, that's how they're processing their grief. They don't want to sit there and, collapse into a puddle of tears or whatever. They're like, we're just going to rock as hard as we possibly can.
Yeah.
They're probably all drunk,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, I think like
that one of them didn't look like he was doing too good. I felt sad for him too.
Well, yeah, I mean it's
yeah, it's a heavy thing.
Especially when you have to like go on and the show has to move on.
Show must go on.
Yeah, like I've had people that I've worked with that have died, and then you show up to work the next day and you got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yikes.
It's happened. It happened multiple times. It's like, well, shit. It's like, well, you got to keep going. So it's like these guys, they got to keep, you got to keep pushing. Look at me. So look at me now. I'm just making my play. Don't try to push your luck. Just get out of my way. And then it goes to a bunch of Back in Black. So of course that's a double, because when you go to a funeral, everybody's wearing black or whatever. So it's like maybe he like, resurrected out of his funeral or whatever. You know. And of course, you know, for us, it's, you know, I had a very interesting conversation with Honest Atheist Adam in the most recent Fireside.
Right.
We were talking about the resurrection or whatever, but it's an interesting concept, like, because there's never been a time in my life where I didn't believe that Jesus rose from the dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I've never lived in any sort of reality where I ever thought that death was final. So I can, it's hard to imagine, like, what is that like to think that, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what their belief system is. I'm just extrapolating and saying, okay, if I lost something like incredibly close to me, like what, and I literally, legitimately thought that I would never see them again, what that would be like? How do you process that grief, that type of thing?
Jeez, I don't know.
Because it's you know, like, there's people that, you know, I've lost or whatever that I think about every single day. So it's like, but then I have this, like, you know, it's like I feel like I'm gonna wake up and see you tomorrow. Like that's how I feel like I'm gonna see them again. You know, I'm gonna see my mom again. Blah blah blah. Right. So it's like, it just sucks that there's this big time gap or whatever it is, or there's like you. She never got to, you know, see you and the baby and the channel, and she'd probably say, "Well, you're close by the one, not long enough from you." But so there's those things, but at the same time, like, there's like no doubt in my mind that I'm going to see her again. Like, it's like literally at the same level of knowing I'm going to see her tomorrow when I wake up. Which, of course, I don't know that, but I have faith. You see, it's the gap between reason and certainty. Anyway, yeah. So, like, how would you react to that? How would you deal with that? How would you? And it's beyond the whole, like, what are the value of a particular truth claim? Like, well, that's dumb, Vin, you're in a fantasy world. Okay, fine, I'm in a fantasy world. But let's say that you weren't in the fantasy world that we're in.
Yeah.
And you literally thought, like, you would never see this person who was so full of life.
How to process something like that? What you would?
Because these guys are so full of life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy's dead too.
Yeah.
The guitarist, I guess he died recently. He had dementia or whatever.
Oh, really? Was he old?
I mean,
He must have been, because
all these guys are, I mean, these guys started in the 60s or 70s, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, well, you know, how would you process that? I'm not sure. So I'll say, like, this is the way I'd want to process it. You know, like this big celebratory, sort of rebellious, giving the middle finger to death almost type of way. Like, death is almost the sheriff here.
Is it supposed to be like he's coming, you know, like they'll say, like, I've heard people say, I don't believe this way, but I have heard people say that, like, somebody dies and then they feel like that person, almost like that person's spirit, like, guides them or like becomes part of
watches
them.
over them or whatever.
Yeah, so, like, do you think that they were saying that at all? Like, that when the guy's saying, I'm back, I'm in black, it's that, you know, like, I'm here, like, I'm like singing through this guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But however people deal with, you know, it's just very interesting the way that people deal with death. Metallica never touched on it directly ever. Or maybe they have since that. I don't know, because I haven't listened to a lot of Metallica lately. But it's just really interesting. They didn't really talk a lot about Cliff. They took it out on Jason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just very, very interesting, like, how different groups of people handle death. Whereas this guy, he dies and they write a song about it, and it's like, all right, we're gonna go right into it, and and all that. And
you said he was the singer?
Yeah.
So it is interesting because the singer in this one, like, went out, but the singer in the next guy that came up is the one that's, like, pushing this whole song forward to bring all that remembrance to him, where with the other band, like, when the drummer died,
some of it has to do with age.
Hard time.
Well, bassist, but some of it probably has to do with age, because Metallica were 21, 22 when he died, whereas these guys look older than 21, 22.
Yeah.
So that probably has age.
Well, I don't know.
Age and experience really does have a lot to do with stuff, I think.
How old is this song? Like
1980.
it was put out in 80, and what year was this music video done?
Well, they have already been working for, this was 91, I think.
Oh, okay.
That video.
So that was very close.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's still, I mean, it seems like they addressed it, like, immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, as Metallica, they were just kids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like...
You learn and you change and you know, as you age.
Well, I mean, death is in this world, death is ultimate reality. Mm-hmm. You know, like, you're not, I mean, I don't really believe that, but I'm saying it from their perspective.
Yeah.
Or from perspective of a person who doesn't believe the way we do. It's ultimate reality. Mm-hmm. Like, it is the ultimate thing. It's like in Game of Thrones where the guy said, God is death. Like, I worship God, because if like everything in your life is just under the sun, if you're just living life under the sun, then that's it.
Yeah. And
so
death has the ultimate say then.
Yeah.
So then death is God.
Yeah, right. But this is kind of like, but like I said, it's interesting. These guys don't like look like lyrical geniuses.
Uh-huh.
They don't present themselves that way, but I think it's a smart thing to personify. It seems to me that death is being personified as a sheriff. And there's no mention of the sheriff, but when you see things like, you know, I'm let loose, you know, like he escaped, and then they gotta catch me if they want me to hang. You know, like you've got this. He's got his gang, which was his brothers that he was playing with, and then you know, there's somebody's trying to catch him in order to really kill him, and you know that was usually the sheriff was at the head of that, you know, thing. So like that's pretty smart writing, you know, and it's you know, it's a cool way to send your friend off to the ain't self, I guess. And then it was just a lot of, but I think like it was definitely very repetitive, but there was a ton of emotion in the way that he was doing it though, which is interesting because he wasn't in the band.
Yeah, that's what I think is interesting.
But most of the time when you have a person who's replacing,
it's somebody who's been listening to your,
right? Like Newstead, when Jason heard that Cliff died, he cried. You know, he's read a paper. He cried because he was like, "Oh my God," because he idolized the guy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, maybe that last part was just about just dealing with the emotion, not to be lyrical. The first part was to do the lyrical part, but the second part was just to deal with the emotion of.
Yeah, I kind of wish I would have known what the song was about.
You shouldn't say that.
Why?
Because then everybody's like, that's why you should do research before.
No, I don't want to do research before. I think that takes away from how authentic it is. But I do think that on something like this, like if you know what it is about, then it kind of paints a different picture for,
Guarantee you're gonna get like 5,000 comments. That's why you need to do it before.
Yeah.
What do you give the song?
I mean, I feel it's a 6, but I think it's meaningful, and so I want to give it more of a number because of what it stands for, but I think I just have to go with how I reacted to it, which is a 6.
It's a 9 for me.
Yep.
I think this song is probably one of the most unique We Miss You type songs I've heard, probably ever. And I'm wondering if good for him. Good for them. If I were a guy, just, where party at? I'm not saying that you would. You'd probably have a hard time.
Probably.
You'd probably have a hard time.
Why? How would you say probably?
I'm saying you'd have a hard time.
I would have an extremely hard time.
Trust Allah.
So would the village.
Trust.
Because that would be the end.
Trust Allah and tie your camel. 9 for me.
6 for me.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Don't forget to check out the website, VinandSori.com.
VinandSori.com.